So next is the inputables. Patrick said I said that weird, and now I'm self-conscious of how I say it. I don't know how the right way to do this. But anyway, let's start off with let's start top down. So I'm going to start off with the keyboard event manager. This is keeps track of the important keys that need to be managed. So this has a map of single key event managers. So obviously it has the associated key and then the manager for that key. We have a static number of keys, which changed, but you probably won't need 100 keys. So when we go into the CPP file, when we register it, we make sure that we try to find the key and that we cannot find the key. If that key doesn't exist, then we create a new single key event manager for it. And then we register it and we insert it into our list. If there already is a single key event manager for it, then we register it into the single key event manager that we already have. So going back to that, like the new here is we go through our list of single key event managers and we delete them. So when we process keys, we just go and through our list of each keys and we call the process key event, which we'll see what it goes into. Second, we have our deregister, which just removes it from the using the reference. It's a deregister, removes it from the list. So single key event. This has a list of inputables, and it has two different lists, which is the key press and the key release, and then we obviously keep store of the key. So we have a key, and then we have two different lists, the press and release. So here, what you do is when we create it, we set the key equal to whatever the key is. When you register a key, we make sure the event type is, okay, are we putting it in the key press or in the key release? And then when we deregister it, we say, okay, what list is it in, and then remove it from that list using the reference. So when we process key event, which we saw in the keyboard event manager, this is what we call it too. This the important thing is we need to check the current state of the key. So if the key was pressed and now, or sorry, if the key was not pressed and now it is, then we can go through the key press collection. And so we just go and call the callbacks in the presses and the inputables. And then if we set was pressed to true, that's just for management's sake. But if it's the other case, then we're in the key release state, right? So if the key was pressed and now it's released, then we know to call the release on, so this is a single key, we know to call the release on that. For the register, we already went through that. For the imputable, this is similar to our other bowls. So we have our submits in our public. We have our key press callbacks that are filled in by the user, key press and key release, sorry. And then we have our input registration, deregistration. And then we have our giant clump of registration data. So in here, I make the commands. Oh, sorry, this is destructor, but in the, I believe here, how do I make the commands? Ah, yes. So when we submit, I make the commands there. I do not make the commands in the constructor. Not sure why, to be honest. I don't know what I was thinking there. But yeah, I don't know why. But anyway, so in our input registration is again similar to what we had before. So I'm not going to go through it in detail. What really matters is I think community registration. So we have a list of so here we have to add it to the single key event manager. Um, so we find it, and if it's not in the list, then we will create the registration data for it and create the commands. Oh, yes, the reason I didn't pre-create this was because I didn't know how many keys were going to be created. So in the alarm, for instance, I created 3 commands for each alarm. I pre-created those. And then here, I don't want to create 100 commands. So I'm creating them as they come. Um, yeah, I forgot. But imagine next quarter. So here, if we're not at the end, then we go ahead and um, make sure that we're not deregistered, and then we submit our command um, to the teen attorney to be called. But here, this is pretty static stuff too. And then we have our enum class, which is just keep release. Yeah, I think that's it for this one.